21. Black R&B legends who died tragically and mysteriously. What if I told you that some of the most iconic Black R&B legends whose music shaped the world met their untimely deaths under the most mysterious and tragic circumstances? From Tupac Shakur's unsolved murder to Aaliyah's plane crash, these stars didn't just die. They left behind a trail of unanswered questions and chilling speculations. How did they really die? Was it an accident, a conspiracy, or something more sinister? Stay tuned as we uncover the shocking details of these untold stories. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence for more shocking revelations. Cornell Gunter. Cornell Gunter, a celebrated member of the legendary R&B group The Coasters, remains an important figure in the history of 1950s rock and roll and R&B music. Known for his unique voice and energetic stage presence, Gunter helped define the sound of early rock and roll. The Coasters, with hits like Yakety Yak and Charlie Brown, were part of a wave of R&B acts that blended elements of comedy, rhythm, and storytelling, revolutionizing the genre. Gunter's vocal style, marked by both smoothness and comedic timing, made him stand out among the group's other members. Despite his contributions to one of the most iconic groups in rock and roll history, Gunter's career eventually slowed, and he struggled with personal issues, including financial problems. However, he remained hopeful that a return to the spotlight was possible. In the late 1980s, Gunter was still performing, attempting to revive his career and reclaim some of the success he had enjoyed in his prime. Unfortunately, his life was tragically cut short. On the night of February 26, 1990, Gunter was found shot to death in his car in Las Vegas, Nevada. He had been parked on the side of the road near the famous Las Vegas Strip. The details surrounding his death remain shrouded in mystery. No one knows for certain who the killer was or what led to the murder. According to reports, Gunter had been waiting in his car when a stranger approached and shot him. The killer then fled, and Gunter's body was discovered shortly after by authorities. What makes Gunter's death even more unsettling is the lack of any clear motive. His murder appeared to have been a random act of violence, yet many speculated that it could have been tied to the underworld or his personal finances. Some suggested that Gunter had fallen into significant debt, while others believed he may have had knowledge of certain shady dealings in the music industry. There were also whispers about potential personal rivalries, but nothing concrete ever emerged to explain why he was killed. Despite an initial investigation, the case was closed with no leads and no suspect identified. The Las Vegas police were unable to find any witnesses or security footage of the incident, and as the years passed, Gunter's death became one of many unsolved murders in a city known for both its glamour and its dark underbelly. Cornell Gunter's death, while tragic, has not erased his legacy. He remains remembered as one of the driving forces behind the Coasters' success, and his contributions to early rock and roll are still celebrated by music lovers. However, the mystery surrounding his untimely demise continues to haunt both his fans and those who worked with him, leaving behind a legacy not only of music, but of unanswered questions that may never be resolved. Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke, one of the most influential voices in American music, revolutionized the soul and gospel genres while also breaking barriers for black artists in the mainstream music industry. Born on January 22, 1931 in Clarksdale, Mississippi, Cooke began his career in gospel before transitioning to secular music, where he became known for hits like You Send Me, A Change Is Gonna Come, and Twistin' the Night Away. His smooth, soulful voice and his ability to blend gospel influences with pop and R&B created a unique sound that resonated across racial lines, making him one of the first black artists to achieve widespread success in the pop music charts. Despite his success, Cooke's personal life was marked by controversy, tension, and his involvement in the civil rights movement. He was outspoken about racial injustice, and his music became a soundtrack for the civil rights struggle, especially with the powerful anthem, A Change Is Gonna Come. Cooke's progressive vision extended beyond music as he began to take control of his career, establishing his own record label and production company, an unusual move for black artists at the time, especially one as commercially successful as Cooke. However, Cook's life was tragically cut short. On December 11, 1964, he was shot and killed under suspicious circumstances at the Hacienda Motel in Los Angeles. The official story, according to motel manager Bertha Franklin, was that Cook had attempted to force his way into the office and Franklin shot him in self-defense. However, the circumstances surrounding his death raised many questions. Cook had reportedly been in a heated argument with a woman named Elisa Boyer, and the details of what transpired before his death remain unclear. Some speculate that Cook's growing influence in the music industry and his independent stance may have made him a target, while others believe he was killed in a staged robbery. The case was closed quickly, and the true story of Cook's death remains one of the great unsolved mysteries of the music world. His legacy, however, endures, and his music continues to inspire generations. Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye, one of the most iconic figures in soul music, is remembered for his powerful voice and groundbreaking work in both R&B and pop music. Born on April 2, 1939 in Washington, D.C., Gaye's early years were marked by adversity, especially due to his strained relationship with his father, Marvin Gaye Sr., a strict and abusive figure. Despite these challenges, Gaye's musical talent shone through, and he went on to become one of Motown's most successful artists, producing timeless classics like What's Going On, Sexual Healing, and Mercy, Mercy Me, The Ecology. His music, particularly the album What's Going On, which was a reflection on social issues, is often regarded as some of the greatest and most socially conscious music ever made. Gaye's life, however, was plagued with personal struggles, including battles with depression, substance abuse, and strained relationships. These troubles deepened in the 1980s, and by the time of his death, Gaye was also facing financial difficulties exacerbated by his divorce from his first wife and ongoing family issues. On April 1, 1984, just a day before his 45th birthday, Gaye's life came to a tragic end when he was shot by his father, Marvin Gaye Sr., during a heated argument. The details surrounding the shooting remain a subject of debate. It was reported that Gaye had intervened in a dispute between his parents, expressing his anger over his father's treatment of his mother. A confrontation ensued, and after a brief break, Gaye Sr. returned to the room with a gun, one that Marvin had previously given to his father for protection. The two argued, and Gaye Sr. shot Marvin twice in the chest, killing him instantly. Despite his father's claim of self-defense, many questioned the simplicity of this explanation. The long-standing tensions between father and son, combined with Gaye's personal struggles, pointed to a tragic culmination of years of unresolved emotional pain. The case was closed quickly, with Marvin Gaye Sr. being given probation, but the public was left to grapple with the shocking and unexpected loss of one of the greatest voices in music. Marvin Gaye's death remains one of the most heart-wrenching moments in music history, and the complicated relationship between him and his father continues to haunt the legacy of this beloved artist. His contributions to soul music and his social consciousness, however, remain forever influential, securing his place as one of the legends of R&B. Prince Rogers Nelson. Prince Rogers Nelson, known mononymously as Prince, was an extraordinary musician who reshaped the sound and aesthetics of pop funk and R&B. Born on June 7, 1958 in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Prince was a multi-instrumentalist singer, songwriter, and producer who could play almost every instrument on his recordings, creating music that spanned genres and influenced generations. With a career that spanned over 4 decades, Prince became known for his innovative music, distinctive voice, and genre-blending style. Hits like Purple Rain, When Doves Cry, and Kiss became anthems, and his impact on music, fashion, and culture was immense. Prince also defied industry norms, famously changing his name to an unpronounceable symbol in the 1990s as a protest against his record label, later becoming a symbol of artistic freedom and independence. Despite his legendary status, Prince's personal life was marked by a reclusive nature and a fiercely private demeanor. His spirituality struggles with the pressures of fame and rumored health issues, such as chronic pain from a hip injury, remained largely out of the public eye. On April 21, 2016, Prince was found unresponsive in an elevator at his Paisley Park estate in Minnesota. The cause of death was later revealed to be an overdose of fentanyl, a powerful opioid painkiller. What shocked many was that Prince, who had no known history of opioid addiction, had fentanyl levels in his body far exceeding a lethal dose. The circumstances surrounding his overdose, including his previous hospitalization after a health scare on a private jet just days before, sparked theories that he was poisoned possibly by counterfeit drugs. Despite investigations, the true cause of Prince's death remains murky, leading to widespread speculation about his potential poisoning or a plot orchestrated by someone close to him. Prince's death left an irreplaceable void in the music world, and his enigmatic passing only added to his legacy as an icon. Fans and critics alike continue to ask questions about the events surrounding his death, and his profound influence on music and culture endures. Phyllis Hyman. Phyllis Hyman was a powerful, soulful voice whose career spanned soul, jazz, and R&B music. Born on July 6, 1949 in Philadelphia, Hyman was known for her rich, deep voice and emotive performances. She first gained recognition in the 1970s, and her career peaked with hits such as You Know How to Love Me and Living All Alone. Hyman's smooth blend of jazz and R&B caught the attention of both mainstream audiences and critics. She was particularly noted for her ability to convey emotional depth through her music, and her vocal style was often compared to that of legendary singers like Aretha Franklin. Behind the scenes, however, Hyman's life was fraught with personal struggles. She was open about her battles with depression, substance abuse, and the pressures of the music industry. Despite these difficulties, she remained dedicated to her craft, recording and performing until her untimely death. Hyman's most tragic and mysterious moment occurred on June 30, 1995, when she was found dead in her apartment just hours before she was set to perform at the Apollo Theater in New York. A bottle of sedatives was found next to her body, and a suicide note was discovered, leading many to believe that Hyman had taken her own life. However, those who knew Hyman well, including her family and close friends, were deeply suspicious of the suicide narrative. Just hours before her death, Hyman had been in good spirits, speaking excitedly about her upcoming performance and new album. Her loved ones believed the note was not her own, suggesting that her death might have been staged as a suicide. Some speculated that Hyman was a victim of manipulation, possibly drugged or coerced into making the tragic decision. The lack of a thorough investigation and the rushed closure of the case left many unanswered questions. Hyman's death marked a tragic loss for the music world, and her contributions to R&B and jazz remain influential to this day. While her career was cut short, Phyllis Hyman's music continues to be celebrated for its emotional depth and technical prowess, and her legacy as a powerful and soulful vocalist lives on. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston, often regarded as one of the greatest vocalists of all time, was a global superstar whose impact on pop and R&B music is unmatched. Born on August 9, 1963 in Newark, New Jersey, Whitney was the daughter of gospel singer Cissy Houston and cousin to the legendary Dionne Warwick, so it's no surprise that music ran through her veins. Whitney's extraordinary vocal talent was first recognized when she signed with Arista Records in the early 1980s. Her debut album, Whitney Houston, 1985, produced hits like The Greatest Love of All and How Will I Know, quickly establishing her as a force to be reckoned with in the music industry. Her career skyrocketed with the release of the Bodyguard soundtrack 1992, which included the iconic hit, I Will Always Love You. Whitney's success in music was paralleled by her groundbreaking acting career, but it was her unmatched vocal prowess that truly set her apart. She became a cultural icon, known for her incredible vocal range, charisma, and timeless ballads. However, despite her immense success, Whitney Houston's personal life was marred by struggles with drug addiction, tumultuous relationships, and media scrutiny. Her battle with substance abuse overshadowed her career, and in the late 2000s, she made several attempts at a comeback, but these efforts were often hindered by her ongoing struggles. On February 11, 2012, Whitney Houston was found unconscious in the bathtub of her room at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles, just hours before she was scheduled to attend a pre-Grammy Awards party. She was later pronounced dead, and the cause of death was ruled as drowning with heart disease and drug use as contributing factors. While the circumstances of her death were officially classified as an accidental drowning, many have speculated about the true nature of her demise. Some believe she was intentionally poisoned given the timing of her death and her return to the spotlight with no clear explanation for why she had drugs in her system at that time. Her tragic passing left a void in the music world, and her legacy as one of the greatest voices of all time remains secure. Donny Hathaway. Donny Hathaway, a soul and R&B pioneer known for his deeply emotional voice and incredible musicianship, was one of the most influential figures in the genre during the 1970s. Born on January 20th, 1945 in Chicago, Illinois, Hathaway rose to prominence in the early years of his career, creating soulful, heartfelt songs like A Song for You and This Christmas, which are still beloved today. His unique blend of gospel, soul, and jazz created music that was both emotionally potent and technically brilliant. Hathaway's ability to convey vulnerability and emotional depth through his music made him a standout artist in an era of rich talent. Despite his rising success, Hathaway's personal life was fraught with struggles, particularly with mental health issues. He had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and was open about the difficulties he faced with his mental health, which impacted his career and relationships. Hathaway's battle with his condition was well documented, and his friends and family were concerned for his well-being. He struggled to maintain stability in his life and his career, while impactful was often interrupted by his personal issues. On January 13, 1979, Hathaway's life came to a tragic end when he fell from the 15th floor of the Essex House Hotel in New York City. He was in town to work on music, but that night something went terribly wrong. The details of his death remain shrouded in mystery, as no signs of a struggle were found in his hotel room, and the window was open when his body was discovered. While the official ruling was suicide, many who knew Hathaway, including close friends and colleagues, believe that his death was not self-inflicted but rather a result of foul play. Theories ranging from a botched murder to an industry conspiracy have persisted, though no concrete evidence has surfaced to substantiate these claims. Donny Hathaway's death remains one of the most heartbreaking and mysterious moments in soul music history. Despite his relatively short life, Hathaway's music has left an indelible mark on generations of musicians and fans. Songs like Someday We'll All Be Free and his iconic Christmas classic, This Christmas, continue to be played and appreciated worldwide. Hathaway's legacy as one of the greatest vocalists in soul music history endures with his death, only adding to the tragic and unanswered questions about his untimely demise. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, the king of pop, was a global icon whose influence transcended music, dance, and pop culture. Born on August 29, 1958 in Gary, Indiana, Jackson rose to fame as the lead singer of the Jackson 5 before embarking on an extraordinarily successful solo career that reshaped the music industry. His album, Thriller 1982, remains the best-selling album of all time, with iconic hits like Billie Jean, Thriller, and Beat It. Jackson's innovative music videos, groundbreaking performances, and unparalleled dance moves, including the signature moonwalk, earned him a place as one of the most recognized and influential entertainers in history. Despite his monumental success, Jackson's life was marred by controversy, personal struggles, and constant media scrutiny. In the 1990s and early 2000s, he faced allegations of child molestation, which tarnished his reputation and subjected him to intense legal battles. He also struggled with his appearance, including multiple plastic surgeries and a skin condition known as vitiligo, which contributed to his changing looks over the years. Jackson's personal life became increasingly reclusive as he became more isolated from the public eye. On June 25, 2009, Michael Jackson died unexpectedly at the age of 50. He was found unresponsive at his Los Angeles home, and the cause of death was later revealed to be acute propofol intoxication administered by his personal physician, Dr. Conrad Murray. Murray was convicted of involuntary manslaughter for administering the lethal dose of the anesthetic, but many questions about the circumstances surrounding Jackson's death remain unanswered. Jackson had been preparing for his highly anticipated This Is It comeback tour, and the pressures of his financial troubles, intense scrutiny, and the demands of his career were reportedly taking a toll on his health. Some fans and critics still believe there may have been foul play involved, given Jackson's extensive medical history and the extreme nature of the drug used to sedate him. His sudden death shocked the world, leaving a legacy that will continue to inspire future generations, but also leaving behind a cloud of mystery surrounding his final days. Al Jackson Jr. Al Jackson Jr. was one of the most influential drummers in the history of soul and R&B music. Born on November 27, 1935 in Memphis, Tennessee, Jackson was a founding member of Booker T and the MG's The House Band for Stax Records. Jackson's drumming style, marked by precision groove and soul, became the backbone of some of the greatest soul songs ever recorded, including classics like Green Onion's Time Is Tight and Soul Man. His steady beats and rhythmic sensibility helped define the Memphis soul sound, and he was a crucial part of the Stax sound during its most influential years. Despite his success, Jackson's life was marred by personal struggles. He had a reputation for being reclusive, and while he was highly respected in the music industry, he was often a mysterious figure, keeping his personal life out of the spotlight. He was known for being a perfectionist in the studio, but behind the scenes he dealt with financial issues and personal turmoil. On September 30th, 1975, Al Jackson Jr. was tragically shot and killed in his Memphis home. He was found by his wife, who was tied up in another room and claimed she did not see the attacker. The police quickly ruled the death a robbery gone wrong, but many found this explanation unsatisfactory. Jackson had been shot 5 times, and nothing of value was stolen from the home, leading many to believe it was a targeted killing, not a random robbery. Some speculated that his death was related to his involvement with the music industry, possibly due to financial difficulties or disputes with industry insiders. Despite the police investigation, no arrests were made, and the case remains unsolved. Al Jackson Jr.'s death left a significant gap in the world of music, and his drumming continues to influence generations of musicians. His legacy lives on through his work with Booker T and the MGs, and the countless soul and R&B songs that carry his distinctive rhythm. However, the mystery surrounding his untimely death continues to be one of the unsolved tragedies of the music world. Janis Paut. Janis Paut, though not widely known today, was a promising figure in the 1970s R&B scene with a distinctive voice that captivated those who heard it. Born in the late 1940s, Paut quickly made a name for herself in the New Jersey music scene, and her soulful, powerful performances earned her a loyal following. Her music was characterized by deep emotion and raw energy traits that endeared her to fans of soul and R&B alike. Janis' style was often compared to other greats of the era, blending elements of jazz and gospel with contemporary soul, creating a unique sound that set her apart from other artists. In the early 1980s, Paut's career was poised to break into the mainstream with new projects in the works and the promise of greater exposure on the horizon. However, her life was tragically cut short under mysterious circumstances. On a quiet night in September 1980, Janis was walking home after performing at a local venue in New Jersey when she was attacked. A stranger approached her and stabbed her multiple times, leaving her to die on a dimly lit street. Despite efforts to rush her to a nearby hospital, she succumbed to her injuries hours later. The attack was sudden and without warning, and police quickly ruled it a random robbery gone wrong. However, those close to Paut were unconvinced. She carried no valuables, and her personal life showed no signs of conflict or dispute. Some speculated that her death could have been linked to professional tensions in the music industry, including possible disagreements with her manager over her artistic direction. Paut's death, ruled as a robbery, remains shrouded in mystery. No arrests were made, and her story faded into obscurity. Yet her contributions to soul music remain, and her brief but impactful career continues to be remembered by those who remember the soulfulness she brought to the stage. Darryl Banks. Darryl Banks was a rising star in the soul music scene of the 1960s, known for his heartfelt ballads and smooth delivery. Born in the early 1940s, Banks began his career with a natural gift for music, and his rich voice earned him a strong following in Detroit's burgeoning R&B scene. He signed with a prominent label in the late 1960s and recorded several songs that resonated with fans across America. His most famous track, "Open the Door to Your Heart," became a hit and solidified his place in the hearts of R&B fans. Despite his success, Banks's career was often overshadowed by the turmoil of the music industry and the personal struggles that came with it. His promising future was tragically cut short one night in February 1970 when he was involved in a heated argument on the streets of Detroit. Banks had been near an apartment complex when the altercation escalated. Witnesses stated that the disagreement was over a romantic issue involving a third party. The situation turned violent quickly, and his assailant Aaron Bullock pulled out a gun and shot Banks in the street. The attack left Banks bleeding on the sidewalk. While witnesses to the shooting gave conflicting reports, the details remained unclear. Bullock was arrested but later released due to lack of evidence. The case was closed with little investigation into whether there were other underlying reasons for the shooting, such as a hidden grudge or jealousy related to Banks's rising fame in the music industry. The lack of clarity surrounding his death has led to various theories, including speculation that Banks's murder was not just a personal dispute, but perhaps something more connected to the competitive, often dangerous environment of the music industry. Darryl Banks's death was a tragic end to a promising career. He was only in his 20s when he was killed, leaving behind a legacy of beautiful, soulful music that still resonates with fans today. His untimely death remains unsolved, and the mystery surrounding it has only added to the tragic nature of his life and career. Eric Lynn Wright. Eric Lynn Wright, better known by his stage name Eazy-E, was a pioneering figure in hip-hop and one of the most influential members of the legendary group NWA. Eazy-E was born on September 7, 1964, in Compton, California, and quickly became a central figure in the rise of gangsta rap. His raw, unapologetic lyrics addressed urban life, police brutality, and societal issues, and his contributions to the genre helped shape the direction of hip-hop in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Known as the godfather of gangsta rap, Eazy-E's label Ruthless Records introduced the world to artists like Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and Snoop Dogg, solidifying his place in the pantheon of hip-hop legends. Despite his success in the music industry, Eazy-E's life was marred by controversy, legal battles, and his involvement in the rough streets of Compton. He was known for his tough persona, but behind this image he struggled with personal demons, including his involvement in the infamous East Coast-West Coast rap feud. Eazy-E's rise to fame came at a cost, and the pressures of his career, personal life, and business dealings began to take a toll on his health. In early 1995, Eazy-E was diagnosed with AIDS, which shocked both his fans and the music community, as he had always appeared to be in good health. His death on March 26, 1995, just a month after his diagnosis, sparked numerous rumors and conspiracy theories. Some fans speculated that his rapid decline and death could have been a result of deliberate infection, given his supposed healthy lifestyle, and the ongoing tensions between him and other industry figures, including Dr. Dre and Suge Knight. However, there is no concrete evidence to support these claims. Eazy-E's sudden death from AIDS-related complications left many unanswered questions, and his passing was a reminder of the unpredictable nature of life in the fast-paced, often dangerous world of hip-hop. He remains an iconic figure in the genre, and his legacy lives on through his groundbreaking work with NWA and Ruthless Records. Christopher George LaTorre Wallace. Christopher George LaTorre Wallace, better known as the notorious B.I.G., was a towering figure in the world of rap and one of the greatest artists to ever step onto the hip-hop stage. Born on May 21, 1972 in Brooklyn, New York, Biggie Smalls, as he was also known, rose to fame in the mid-1990s with his debut album, Ready to Die, which showcased his unique flow storytelling ability and unapologetic lyrics. His deep, commanding voice and vivid depictions of street life captivated listeners, and songs like Juicy and Big Papa and Hypnotize became anthems of the era. Biggie was at the forefront of the East Coast rap scene during the notorious East Coast-West Coast rap feud, which dominated hip-hop in the 1990s. His rivalry with West Coast rapper Tupac Shakur was one of the most publicized conflicts in the history of rap, and it further fueled tensions between artists from both coasts. Despite his rise to stardom and the success of his music, Biggie's life was marked by struggles with street violence, run-ins with the law, and growing tensions within the music industry. On March 9, 1997, the notorious B.I.G. was tragically shot and killed in Los Angeles, California, just hours after attending a music industry event. He was sitting in the passenger seat of an SUV when a gunman in a car pulled up alongside him and opened fire, hitting him multiple times. Despite being rushed to the hospital, Biggie was pronounced dead shortly thereafter. The murder remains unsolved, and theories abound regarding the identity of the killer and the motivations behind the attack. Some believe it was an act of retaliation tied to the East Coast-West Coast feud, while others suspect involvement from within the music industry or corrupt law enforcement. The investigation into his death was filled with irregularities, leading to widespread speculation about a cover-up or deeper conspiracy. His death just months after Tupac Shakur's killing fueled the rumors that both murders were part of a larger, more sinister plot. Biggie's murder remains one of the most controversial and tragic events in hip-hop history, and his legacy continues to be celebrated by fans and artists alike. His influence on rap storytelling in music and the culture at large cannot be overstated. Biggie Smalls, despite his untimely death at the age of 24, left a lasting impact on the world of music, and his name remains synonymous with East Coast rap and hip-hop greatness. Tupac Amaru Shakur. Tupac Amaru Shakur, known mononymously as Tupac, was a groundbreaking figure in rap and one of the most influential artists of all time. Born on June 16, 1971 in East Harlem, New York, Tupac was the son of two active members of the Black Panther Party, which deeply shaped his political views and music. His early life was marked by hardship, moving from New York to Baltimore and then to California, where he would eventually rise to fame. Tupac's music was characterized by its raw lyricism, which ranged from passionate pleas for social justice to graphic depictions of street life and personal struggles. His debut album, Tupacalypse Now 1991, was met with controversy, but it was also praised for its bold political messages addressing issues like police brutality, racism, and inequality. As a multifaceted artist, Tupac was not only a rapper but also an actor, poet, and activist. His acting career in films like Juice 1992 and Poetic Justice 1993 cemented his status as a cultural icon. His music, particularly albums like Me Against the World 1995 and All Eyes on Me 1996, touched on themes of hardship, survival, and the harsh realities of life in America. However, Tupac's life was also marred by legal troubles, violence, and his involvement in the infamous East Coast-West Coast rap feud. On September 13, 1996, Tupac was shot in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas. He had been leaving a boxing match at the MGM Grand with Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight when a white Cadillac pulled up beside his car and a gunman fired multiple shots into the vehicle, hitting Tupac. After 6 days in the hospital, Tupac succumbed to his injuries on September 13, 1996. Despite widespread speculation about the motives behind his murder, ranging from retaliation for the East Coast-West Coast rivalry to involvement by the music industry or even a personal vendetta, the case remains unsolved. Theories abound, but the true cause of Tupac's death is still a mystery, leaving fans and investigators wondering if the full story will ever come to light. His death at just 25 years old left an irreplaceable void in the world of music. and his legacy continues to inspire and shape hip-hop culture today. Jason William Mizell. Jason William Mizell, better known by his stage name Jam Master. Jay was a pioneering DJ and a founding member of the legendary hip-hop group Run DMC. Born on January 21, 1965 in Brooklyn, New York, Jam Master Jay is widely recognized as one of the most important figures in the history of hip-hop. As the DJ for Run DMC, Jay helped craft the sound that would define hip-hop in the 1980s, using his skills to blend elements of rock, funk, and R&B with innovative turntablism. Run DMC's self-titled debut album in 1984, featuring groundbreaking hits like It's Like That and Sucker MCs, was instrumental in bridging the gap between hip-hop and mainstream music, paving the way for future success in the genre. Known for his charismatic personality and impeccable skills behind the turntables, Jam Master Jay was not just a DJ, but also a cultural ambassador for hip-hop, taking it to new heights of popularity. He was integral to the group's success, helping to define their sound and style, which remains influential to this day. The trio of Run DMC with Jay's DJing was one of the first hip-hop groups to earn mainstream success, securing deals with major brands and gaining recognition as pioneers in the genre. Jay's influence stretched beyond the stage, as he was also a respected figure in the hip-hop community for his mentorship and contributions to the culture. Tragically, Jam Master Jay's life was cut short on October 30, 2002. He was shot and killed in his Queens, New York recording studio. The murder shocked the hip-hop world, and it quickly became clear that this was no random act of violence. Jay was with friends in the studio, and two men entered firing shots. Despite the obvious targeted nature of the shooting, the case remained unsolved for years. There was speculation about possible involvement in drug-related issues or a dispute within the music industry. But the investigation was slow-moving, and no arrests were made in the years following his death. Jam Master Jay's untimely death at the age of 37 left a void in the hip-hop community. His contributions to the genre and his influence on the development of hip-hop as a global phenomenon are immeasurable. While his murder remains a mystery, his legacy as a pioneering DJ and cultural icon continues to live on through his work with Run DMC and his lasting impact on the music industry. Lisa Nicole Lopez. Lisa Nicole Lopez, better known by her stage name Left Eye, was a trailblazing rapper and member of the iconic R&B group TLC. Born on May 27, 1971 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Left Eye was known for her bold and unapologetic style, both in her music and her public persona. As a member of TLC, one of the best-selling girl groups of all time, Left Eye helped create timeless hits like Waterfalls, No Scrubs, and Creep songs that blended hip-hop, R&B, and pop with themes of empowerment, self-expression, and social consciousness. Left Eye's distinctive rap verses and fierce personality made her a standout member of the group, and her influence on the group's sound and image was undeniable. Outside of her musical career, Left Eye was known for her activism, particularly in the areas of youth advocacy and social justice. She was passionate about promoting self-love and addressing issues such as HIV/AIDS awareness and domestic violence. Left Eye was also known for her troubled relationships, most notably her high-profile marriage to Atlanta Falcons football player Andre Rison, which was marked by public controversies and a well-publicized incident in which Left Eye set fire to Rison's shoes in a fit of anger. On April 25, 2002, Left Eye tragically died in a car crash in Honduras at the age of 30. She had been traveling with friends and family as part of a spiritual journey to a self-help retreat when the accident occurred. The vehicle they were in flipped several times after hitting a tree. While Left Eye was not wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash, her death was ruled accidental. However, the sudden and untimely nature of her passing, combined with her history of spiritual exploration, led to speculation about whether her death was truly an accident. In the aftermath of her passing, many fans and music industry figures mourned the loss of an artist who had not only changed the landscape of hip-hop and R&B, but had also been a vocal advocate for personal growth and empowerment. Her legacy, both musically and socially, continues to inspire and influence artists to this day. Merlin Santana. Merlin Santana was a rising star in the world of television and film, known for his charming presence and memorable performances in both comedic and dramatic roles. Born on October 14, 1976 in New York City, Santana quickly became a familiar face on television in the 1990s. He is best remembered for his role as Romeo in the popular sitcom The Steve Harvey Show, where his character was a charming comedic student who was a friend to the show's central characters. Santana's performance on the show earned him a place in the hearts of fans, particularly young audiences who grew up watching his lighthearted, charismatic portrayal of Romeo. Santana's talent was not limited to television. He also appeared in films such as Paid in Full 2002, and had roles in various other TV shows, showcasing his range as an actor. Despite his success, Santana's life was tragically cut short at the age of 26. On November 9, 2002, Santana was shot and killed while sitting in his car in Los Angeles. He had been with a friend, and the two were chatting when a group of men approached their vehicle. Without warning, one of the men pulled out a gun and fired multiple shots, killing Santana instantly. His friend, who was unharmed, managed to flee the scene, but Santana was left to die in the car. The murder of Merlin Santana shocked both his fans and the entertainment industry. The circumstances surrounding his death were suspicious, as he had no known enemies, and there were no signs of a robbery or altercation leading up to the shooting. Speculation surrounded the possible motives for the murder, including theories about gang involvement or personal disputes. The investigation into his death was slow, and despite several leads, the case was never fully solved. Theories about whether Santana's death was a random act of violence or the result of some deeper motive in his personal life have persisted. Merlin Santana's death remains a tragic and unsolved mystery. His potential as an actor and his growing presence in Hollywood were tragically interrupted, and his sudden loss left a void in the entertainment world. His memory lives on through his work, and his fans continue to celebrate the talent and joy he brought to the screen. Despite the unanswered questions surrounding his death, Merlin Santana remains a beloved figure in the entertainment industry. Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor, a star safety for the Washington Redskins of the NFL, was one of the most talented and promising young players in professional football before his life was tragically cut short. Born on April 1, 1983 in Miami, Florida, Taylor quickly became known for his ferocious playing style, athleticism, and ability to dominate on the field. He played college football for the Miami Hurricanes, where his skills as a defensive player made him one of the top prospects for the NFL draft. In 2004, he was selected by the Redskins with the 5th overall pick in the NFL draft, and his impact on the field was immediate. Taylor's career, although brief, was marked by extraordinary performances. He was known for his hard-hits playmaking ability and his role as a leader of the Redskins' defense. He was selected to the Pro Bowl in 2007 and was considered one of the best young players in the league. His style of play, which was aggressive and fearless, earned him a reputation as one of the hardest-hitting safeties in the NFL. However, Sean Taylor's life was tragically taken from him on November 27, 2007 at the age of 24. Early that morning, Taylor's home in Miami was broken into by a group of men looking to steal valuables. Taylor, who was at home with his fiancée and young daughter, woke up to the sound of the break-in and attempted to defend his family. He was shot in the femoral artery, a wound that caused massive blood loss. Despite being rushed to the hospital, Taylor died from his injuries a day later. The murder of Sean Taylor sent shockwaves through the NFL and the sports community. The investigation into his death revealed that the men who broke into his home were not initially aware of who Taylor was, and the incident appeared to be a botched robbery. 4 men were arrested, and they were later convicted for the crime. Taylor's death was a tragic reminder of the violence that can happen off the field, and left a lasting impact on his teammates, fans, and the football community. His death also brought attention to the challenges athletes face in their personal lives, as well as the vulnerability of public figures to violence in their own homes. Taylor's legacy lives on through his daughter, the Sean Taylor Foundation, and the memory of his contributions to the game of football. Lamont Coleman. Lamont Coleman, known by his stage name Big L, was a prolific and highly respected rapper who made significant contributions to the golden era of hip-hop in the 1990s. Born on May 30th, 1974 in Harlem, New York, Big L became known for his intricate lyricism, complex wordplay, and storytelling ability. He was a part of the Diggin' in the Crates crew, DITC, a collective of talented New York-based artists, and was considered one of the best MCs of his time, often praised for his technical skill and the rawness of his delivery. Big L's debut album, Lifestyles of Da Poor and Dangerous, 1995, was widely praised for its sharp lyricism and grim depictions of street life in Harlem. Tracks like Put It On, MVP, and The Devil's Son showcased his ability to combine intricate rhyme schemes with vivid storytelling. His sound was gritty, real, and unapologetic, and he quickly became a favorite among hip-hop aficionados, especially those in New York, who appreciated his authenticity and his vivid portrayals of urban life. Unfortunately, Big L's career was cut short when he was murdered on February 15, 1999, at the age of 24. He was shot multiple times on a street in Harlem, just steps away from his home. Big L had been a rising star in the rap world, and his untimely death sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community. The circumstances surrounding his death were mysterious, and while there were various theories surrounding the motive, no one was ever charged or convicted for his murder. Some believed his death was tied to his association with the streets, while others speculated it was related to the music industry's competitive nature. Big L's death is widely considered one of the greatest losses in hip-hop history. His impact on the genre remains significant, especially within the New York rap scene, where his influence is still felt today. He is often cited as a major influence by rappers like Jay-Z, Nas, and Cameron, who continue to reference his legacy in their music. Although Big L's career was short, his lyrical genius and contributions to hip-hop have ensured that he remains a respected and influential figure in the genre. His untimely death left many wondering what could have been had his life not been tragically taken. Freaky Tah. Freaky Tah, born Raymond Rogers on May 14, 1971, was a talented rapper and a member of the influential hip-hop group The Lost Boys. Known for his charismatic style and lively personality, Freaky Tah was an integral part of the group that helped shape the East Coast hip-hop scene in the mid-1990s. The Lost Boys, with hits like Renee and Me and My Crazy World, blended storytelling with a fun, party-oriented vibe that resonated with audiences across the United States. Freaky Tah's distinctive voice and energetic presence made him a fan favorite, with his playful yet poignant rhymes adding a unique flavor to the group's music. Despite the group's success, Freaky Tah's solo career never fully materialized, but he remained a vital part of the Lost Boys' legacy. His contributions to the group's sound were invaluable, and his playful yet often deep lyrical style earned him recognition within hip-hop circles. The Lost Boys had several chart-topping tracks, and their music became synonymous with the 90s golden era of hip-hop. On March 28, 1999, Freaky Tah's life was tragically cut short. He was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting in the Queensbridge section of New York City. The incident took place after he had attended a birthday party and was sitting in his car with friends. A gunman who approached the vehicle on foot opened fire, hitting Freaky Tah multiple times. Despite being rushed to the hospital, he died from his injuries at the age of 27. The circumstances surrounding Freaky Tah's death remain a mystery. There was speculation that the shooting could have been gang-related or possibly the result of a personal conflict. However, no concrete evidence has surfaced to explain why he was targeted, and the case remains unsolved. The sudden loss of Freaky Tah was a devastating blow to his friends, family, and fans, and the hip-hop community mourned the loss of a talented artist who had so much potential ahead of him. Freaky Tah's legacy endures through his work with the Lost Boys. His untimely death is remembered as one of the tragedies of hip-hop, leaving fans and peers to wonder what more he could have contributed to the genre. Despite his brief career, Freaky Ta is remembered as an essential figure in East Coast hip-hop, and his influence continues to resonate in the hearts of those who loved his music. Aaliyah Dana Houghton. Aaliyah Dana Houghton, known mononymously as Aaliyah, was one of the most influential and beloved figures in R&B and pop music. Born on January 16, 1979 in Brooklyn, New York, Aaliyah's smooth voice, effortless charm, and sophisticated style quickly garnered attention. She became a global sensation at a young age, captivating audiences with her distinctive sound that blended R&B pop and hip-hop influences. Aaliyah's debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number 1994, was produced by R. Kelly, and included hits like Back and Forth and the title track, marking her as a breakout star in the 1990s R&B scene. Her music, known for its smooth, sultry tone and mature lyrics, resonated with fans worldwide. Aaliyah's sophomore album, One in a Million, 1996, produced by Timbaland and Missy Elliott, pushed musical boundaries with its innovative sound and cemented her status as a trailblazer in R&B. Tracks like If Your Girl Only Knew and One in a Million were not only commercial successes, but also demonstrated her ability to evolve musically, solidifying her as a young artist with staying power. Beyond her music career, Aaliyah also ventured into acting, starring in films like Romeo Must Die 2000 and Queen of the Damned 2002, expanding her influence in pop culture. Aaliyah's style, both on and off the stage, was celebrated for its grace, strength, and originality, and she became a fashion icon known for her urban chic aesthetic and bold fashion choices. However, her life and career were tragically cut short on August 25, 2001. Aaliyah was killed in a plane crash in the Bahamas, where she had been filming the music video for her song, Rock the Boat. The small Cessna aircraft, which was significantly overweight and had several mechanical issues, crashed shortly after takeoff, killing Aaliyah and 8 others on board. The news of her death sent shockwaves through the music world, with fans and fellow artists mourning the loss of an artist who was seen as having the potential to change the face of music forever. Aaliyah's death at just 22 years old left the world with an unfulfilled promise of what could have been. Her music continues to resonate with generations of fans, and her impact on modern R&B pop and hip-hop is undeniable. Despite her brief life, Aaliyah's legacy endures through her timeless music and cultural influence, as she remains one of the most celebrated and revered artists in music history. The tragic and mysterious deaths of these 21 Black R&B legends have left the world questioning what truly happened. From the violent loss of stars like Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls, to the inexplicable passings of icons such as Prince and Aaliyah, the shadows of their untimely demises continue to haunt the music world. Was it the result of hidden industry conflicts, personal struggles, or something even darker? What do you think? Could these deaths be random, or is there more to the story than we will ever know? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence for more untold stories.